The Battle of Stalingrad wasn't just a military engagement. It was a descent into a mechanical, frozen hell. To understand the bitter victory, you have to look past the maps and into the ruins of a city that became a tomb for two empires. Part 1. The city of Iron in the summer of 1942. Hitler's Sixth Army, the most powerful formation in the Wehrmacht, marched toward the Volga River. Their goal was the city bearing Stalin's name. For the Germans, it was a strategic prize, a gateway to the oil fields of the Caucasus. For the Soviets, it was a matter of survival. By September, the German Luftwaffe had dropped 1,000 tons of explosives, turning a modern industrial city into a jagged wasteland of blackened chimneys and hollowed-out apartments. But the Ruba, meant to clear the way, became the Soviets' greatest defensive asset. Pardois Hatenkriegi, the Ratoire. As the Germans pushed into the city center, the nature of warfare changed. Tanksta, pride of the Blitzkrieg, became useless in the debris-choked streets. The battle broke down into what the German soldiers called the fighting. Men fought with knives, sharpened spades, and grenades in basements and sewers. A single apartment building, like the famous Pavlov's house, could be held by a handful of men for 2 months, repelling wave after wave of attacks. The sniper's reign. Because the front lines were often separated by only the thickness of a brick wall, snipers became the masters of the city. Men like Vasily Zaitsev stalked the ruins, turning every pile of bricks into a potential death trap. The Volga lifeline. Every night, Soviet reinforcements crossed the Volga River under heavy fire. Most had a life expectancy of less than 24 hours. They were told there was no land beyond the Volga. Part 3. Operation Uranus and the Great Freeze. While the Germans were bogged down in the meat grinder of the city, Soviet General Georgy Zhukov was preparing a massive pincer movement. On November 19, 1942, the Red Army launched Operation Uranus, smashing through the weaker Romanian and Italian flanks. Within days, 250,000 German soldiers were encircled. Hitler forbade a retreat, promising they would be supplied by air. They weren't. Then came the Russian winter. Temperatures plummeted to -30 graus Celsius. The German Sixth Army. Once the terror of Europe began to starve and freeze, men ate their horses, then their boots, their weapons jammed as the oil froze solid. Part 4. The bitter end. By January 1943, the German pocket was shrinking. Field Marshal Friedrich Paulus, realizing the hopelessness, surrendered on February 2, 1943 against Hitler's explicit orders to commit suicide. The human toll. The prisoners of the 91,000 German prisoners taken. Only about 5,000 would ever see Germany again. The rest died in Soviet labor camps. The defenders. The Soviet victory cost over 1.1 million casualties. To put that in perspective, that is more than the total U.S. casualties for the entire duration of World War II lost in a single city. Why it remains the toughest victory. Stalingrad broke the myth of German invincibility. It was the moment the tide of the war officially turned, but the victory tasted like ash. When the smoke cleared, there was no city left to celebrate in only a landscape of bone and twisted metal. It proved that the Soviet Union was willing to endure a level of pain that no other nation in history could match. Don't forget to like and subscribe.